The reason why I disagree with certain people that you see out there, especially those that are creating this thing called foundational Black America, there's no such thing. Number one,
Peace, peace, peace. This is King Messiah, and tonight we are talking about Dane Calloway's latest video about the term foundational Black Americans, about the reparations claim. Let's get into the video. If you want to hear the whole video without me cutting in, just go straight to Dane Calloway's page and listen to the whole video. But this is a reaction video, and we're going to be chopping it up. I want y'all to leave a comment. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified when we release the next video. We got to stay connected. Let's get into the video.
and then there are people that state that they don't listen to me and they turn right around and regurgitate verbatim, damn near, the information that I present.
It's clear Dane Calloway is talking about Tariq, but let's get back into the video.
That they don't listen to me and they turn right around and regurgitate verbatim, damn near, the information that I present. So I know they're listening to me, and it's hilarious because what they're trying to do is just overstep their boundaries and they can't answer particular questions, so they'll fall back on the so-called black term. And there's multiple different terms that I disagree with, and I've been telling you guys this for quite some time. The reason why I disagree with certain people that you see out there, especially those that are creating this thing called foundational Black America, there's no such thing. Number one, the term black wasn't even utilized amongst our own people until the 1960s, so that's a brand new term. That has nothing to do with how America was founded, straight up. Like, our people were not referring to ourselves as black people during the time of founding or with creating America, okay? There's a lot of terminology that I do not like using, okay? And I keep telling you guys this because it doesn't represent us. What it does represent, like when you use terms like black, what it does represent is that you're being comfortable with allowing strangers to call you whatever they want to call you. And some of you guys would turn your nose up at that statement and say, well, I mean, we've been saying it for years now. What does it matter, Dane? That matters a great deal. That matters a great deal because everybody else, every other class or race, whatever one you want to use, will be looking at us as if, well, I mean, he or she doesn't even know who they are, what they want to be, and anything. Like, you just allowing a stranger to dictate what you are. And what is black? What is that? Like, I mean, yeah, we have a culture. We didn't just create this culture. The culture was already here prior to our people agreeing with calling each other black, just allowing a stranger to do that. We had everything already, the legacies, the cultures, the languages. So we still gonna latch on to something a stranger called us? See, and what I'm trying to get people to understand is the way it's represented in law and the way it's represented by definition is stating that it's non-existent right now. Like, so you can't lean on the fact that it's a color because nobody else is calling themselves or representing themselves by way of color. There's no such thing as brown Americans, yellow Americans. Then there should be no such thing as black Americans. Think about that. This is how you know, and I keep telling people this is how you know that term, black and white, are both statuses in this government. Because not all people who are labeled as white are of Caucasian descent, okay? You have East Africans, you have some West Africans, you have North Africans, you have Haitians. You have some people coming from South America being labeled as white, and we share the same skin complexion. This is how you know that terminology is a status. So when you turn around and label yourself as black, what does that mean?
We've heard different sectors of our community discuss that, oh, black it means nothing or it means bad connotations, but let's get into the video. We got to make that point that's a very good point. Words matter. And what does it mean? What does the word black mean? In the Black Law Dictionary, Webster Dictionary, Cultural Dictionary, what does the word black mean? Let's get into it.
That means that you're null and void. This is the reason why the reparations argument hasn't been looked past being looked at. It didn't gradually go to a different step where it goes in motion because you're still referring to yourself as being non-existent. Reparations are not owed to black people because it wasn't black people in the 1800s.
But it's clear the reparation discussion has not moved nowhere since 100 to 200 years ago, 400 years. It's right where they left it at from the very beginning. And how do we know this? The only thing that they're even acknowledging is, what is it called? HR 40, and Congress said we will study what reparations will even, we'll study it. What the fuck? I mean, we always know that. We know that's bullshit. So he's very right there. The reparation argument has not gone anywhere, but there's this misconception that we're getting close. We're putting pressure on them. Come on. Joe Biden still ain't do shit. Kamala still ain't do nothing. Reparation is not going nowhere. He is correct about that. Let's get back into the video. Enough of me talking.
Black people in the 1800s. That did not exist then. Prior to the 1900s, you're not going to see that terminology. And when they started using the term black, it was strangers using it. It wasn't us. Foreigners were using the term black. So why would you allow a stranger to dictate who you are? And do you want to turn right around and say, well, our ancestors founded America? That's true, but they didn't call themselves black. Well, Dane, what do we call ourselves? You call yourself who you are, meaning by your tribal affiliation, whatever tribe or family that your family was associated with. And see, there's another thing that a lot of people want to just, no, that's too much work and I don't want to do that. Lazy again. You need to find out who you are instead of categorizing yourself by these generic terms that are basically social constructs that were created for you. And they're not working in your best interest. You're literally shooting yourself in the foot by stating that you're black. That is not your skin complexion. 1, you shouldn't be trying to call yourself by your skin complexion. 2, 3, where does it state that a black person or a black citizen has any rights? I dare anybody to look that up. You're not going to find it. It doesn't exist. And this is a public service announcement to those of you that feel comfortable with calling yourself these generic terms, these social constructs, but yet you want things to change, but you're not making changes for yourself right now. And then you want to turn around and call people like me who are letting you know that this is totally incorrect. You want to call us radical. Oh, he's against the people. I'm not against the people. I'm for the people. I wouldn't be stating this otherwise. If I wasn't for the people, I would tell you to continue calling yourself black, knowing that it's not working with you and it's working against you. You know, and that's how you can tell who your real enemy is. I put out a lot of information in multiple different ways, even government records, government documentation, to prove to you that these are nothing but social constructs. I have videos out on the census and the census records and their enumerators. From the time it started till now, their instructions, I went over their instructions. Well, how they had to categorize our people by somebody else's labeling, by somebody else's classifying. We did not agree to this, guys. We never did. So we shouldn't have to settle just because it's more commercially known, or rather commonly known. We shouldn't have to settle with calling ourselves black when we're not black. Look, if we're going by complexion, we're all different shades of the color brown, okay? That's what should allow you to raise a red flag about that term. You have to question everything. Why do we have Black History Month if black means non-existent? It's a reason why. They want to wipe out your history. And look, and if you notice over these years of you guys knowing how the Black history routine is, who benefits from it? Retail stores or anybody selling something, not the people. Am I right or wrong? Because nowadays, our people don't even want to hear about the slave stories and whatever they want to bring up. But you know who's benefiting? Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that. Companies are going to be able to push that as another campaign, as another special event. And, you know, people fall for it. Our people especially. Oh, that's designed for us, when it's the exact same thing just now. Or let's put up the movies with black voices, and they have their own section up under Amazon Prime and Netflix. That's silly. These are the videos that were non-existent. So here, let's put them in the forefront now. That's my message to those people that are falling for that terminology, and then they turn right around and get mad because I'm telling people, hey, I mean, originally we were, and this is another label, and I told you this, it's another label, American Indian. I said that our people are the Niji. These are the indigenous people, the aboriginal people of this landmass, and I told you where it came from. But when it comes to this government, the government, we're talking to the wild Indians, the urban Indians, the American Indians, the Ameri Indians. Indian, that was another term that was utilized that, no, we didn't call each other that, but strangers labeled us that. And I told you guys the reason why you would want to use that term is because the government knows who the American Indians are. And I told you it's not the native. The native came way later, 1970s later. And they are not referring to the American Indians. I told you why. I showed you why. Okay? But that is the only time you would need to refer to yourself as American Indian, when you're dealing with the government. Or just refer to yourself as, you know, what your tribe referred to yourself as. For example, some of you may be Creek. What you gonna say? You Creek Black? You Creek American? No, you're not gonna say neither of that. I'm telling you guys, we gotta get this together, because there's a lot of people that are over 40 trying to, you know, cause confusion, still wanna label us black, when that's actually not working for us. Okay, I don't want nobody else that's over 40 to take what I'm saying personally, but you know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of them out there that are just in it for the money and steering our people in the wrong directions. We need to be doing everything on our own, top, bottom. We need to revamp everything. We allowed strangers to dictate who we are, okay? We should know our stories. We should not rely on strangers in school to tell us what happened, when our elders know what's up. Look, when you try to go get a genealogy DNA test, they send you a paper, like a certificate, like you just graduated from high school. And what? They're telling you your percentages of what you may have and your bloodline. Once again, you relying on strangers' information. That's working backwards. That's working against you. Versus you taking your word of your own elders that were around prior to you, that were around prior to this genealogy DNA test, which started in the 80s, by the way. That was at the same time the internet came about. That's brand spanking new. There's nothing ancient about that. And that technology is not advanced enough to tell you each generation of your family, because it's multiplied by 4. 2 mothers, 2 fathers. That means it's going to be 2 grandmothers, 2 grandfathers, so forth and so on. 1 mother and father. And they both have a mother and father. That's what I'm getting at, guys. That technology does not exist to tell you about your distant cousin. The reason why is because they're not coming back with names. They're coming back with numbers. Anybody can manipulate the numbers. That's why I disagree with that term, the phrase that says men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Yeah, numbers do lie when it's men or women that control them. And you don't have to believe nothing I say. I'm just Dane Calloway. You know what I'm here to do. I'm just here to make you think.
My reaction, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There's a lot to unpack. As somebody who really considers himself a student of the game, I will say that it can be confusing when you know, I'm a supporter of Tariq, I'm a supporter of Dan Calloway, but Dan Calloway is a historian and Tariq is an historian too, right? But their information is clashing. Dan Calloway is putting out data and putting out facts that, hey, you know, these stories have been inflated and you know, certain things that we've been taught was all miseducation. Student of the game, listening to Dan Calloway, listening to Tariq, it can clash. It can clash where it's like, whoa, Now you have Dan Calloway like, listen, that FBA calling yourself black, that's not the move. That's not going to get you true liberation. That's not going to get you true freedom. And I'm sitting here as a student like, okay, I've heard this many, many times where they say black is a term that is derogatory. Black is a term that is almost, it can, you know, and we're not black. If you look at my complexion right now, I'm golden. I'm shining through the camera like gold. So where does this whole concept of black? My hair is black, but I'm gold. So I understand we're shades of brown. So it's like, whoa. And then when you look at what does black mean, he's saying if black truly means non-existent, I've done a quick Google search and I'm like, wow. Who gave us these titles? And to call yourself black, to add the black foundational black American, they're saying you'll never get reparations under that because they'll never acknowledge that as a real, they'll never truly acknowledge that as a real group of people. Your claim to reparations will be dead on arrival because of the name in itself. They say, look at this. This is nowhere in our treaties. This is non-existent. Where did this come from? Who are you claiming to be? That's that plebiscite talk. Because if you, I mean, instead of following the storyline like Dan Calloway is saying, following the actual terms that your grandparents called your people and your tribe, whether it's the Wichita Indians or the Creek, as he said in the video. You know, these are all the terms your ancestors went by. And as we know, the ones that I've learned because I'm new into this space is the Niji people. So I'm new into this space, but I'm learning. I'm a student of the game. I'm a lifelong student. And I want to just say, what is your thoughts on this? We have an open discussion. Sometimes we're going to go live, but I know if we do pre-recorded videos, the videos will be more sharper. We can edit them. We can make them less janky. It could be less struggle. But we're going to do both. I want you to continue to support the 50 to 100 people that just jumped on and subscribed. Double salute. I want to give you value. I want to give you content. And if there's anything I need to improve, as long as it's not disrespectful, I will improve on it. And we can make this, we all going to grow together. I want to support your channels. I want to support what you got going on. And of course, I see that it's being reciprocated. So what's your thoughts? Dan Calloway is a real solid researcher, and his work has proven itself. Just like Tariq is a great director and a great movie maker and a great businessman. And that's what I never knocked the man for him. He can come out with a product every week. Walmart do it. Nobody complain about Walmart taking, so I never really complained about Tariq. And I want to see Tariq and Dan Calloway come together. It's almost like whenever we get the greats, they never come together. They always got something that come between them. Like, and I want to see Tariq and Dan Calloway work on a project together, come to sit in a private room, a private meeting, talk about it. Because if we going, I don't care. Tariq Nasheed can come out with a different product every single week. That makes him a smart businessman. I don't knock it. Get your money. Get your money. But if he's teaching us something that's detrimental, that's a different story. And this is the conversation that's opening up. Dan Calloway has started it with the video. Is the term foundational Black American a no-go? Is the term black a no-go? And if it is, and if the consensus agrees on that it is, I want y'all to have a meeting. I want y'all to sit and I want y'all to talk that out because y'all are two giants. And if Dan Calloway is the lead researcher and Tariq was one of the movie director makers, he's a thinker, make it happen. Y'all two giants. Y'all ain't got to be business partners, but y'all definitely have to show solidarity and unity by doing something, even if it's a phone call or an interview. I'm advocating for that. I want to see Tariq and Dan Calloway on the phone together. Let's push for that. Tariq and Dan Calloway live show, or Tariq and Dan Calloway conversation with each other. And I know Dan Calloway, his research is thorough, and if it is what it is. So we're not gonna make this long. Let's see what else we got here. What do y'all think about it? Wow.